Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends The Defenders 4-pack, which I think is Amazon exclusive. It's the only place I've ever seen it, so I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't think it says it on the box. Anyway, this is a set that was on sale for 80 bucks. It was selling for 80 bucks, and then it would drop down to like 60, and then it would go back up to 80, and I was like, I don't really want to buy it, but eventually I saw it at 60 again, so I picked it up, and now we're reviewing it, because that's what we do here. So it's Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Daredevil in all of their comic glory, which is relatively mediocre. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, we're going to start with Luke Cage. We're going to run through all four figures relatively quickly because there's not a whole lot of new stuff here. I'm just going to do them one by one, like I said, pretty quickly. So this guy stands just about 18 centimeters, which makes him just about a little over 7 inches, and it's a goofy-ass looking figure. The fat ankles with the big feet and the forward chest and the forward shoulders, it just looks like a guy who's like wearing a muscle suit and doesn't know how to actually look like a muscle. It's just goofy looking, guys, honestly. The paint's okay. You can see there's brown up on the yellow. The yellows don't really match. The head's okay, but I'm pretty sure it's the same Luke Cage head as before, which was just another mediocre figure. His gauntlets are relatively soft sculpts. Having these metal boots with the tennis shoes or boots connected to them is a goofy look. It looks better in the comics. It really doesn't look good here. He's knock-kneed. It's just goofy all around, guys. Honestly speaking, if you don't absolutely love Luke Cage, you're not going to like this figure very much, I'm guessing. The belt is painted well enough, and that's about it. As far as articulation goes, the head can look back, it can look down, side to side, no problem. The head sits well enough on the neck, so that's okay. Shoulders work no problem. The Hyperion mold's functional, just goofy looking. So everything works pretty much as you would expect. The gauntlets are rotatable. I'm not sure which way they're supposed to go, honestly. I think with the little lines on the inside. Swivel and a hinge for the wrists. Everything works fine. Ab crunch goes back one. Goes forward a couple, works no problem. Waist twist is no issue. Legs go all the way forward, pretty far out to the side, not so far back at all. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees, shin swivel, which I should point out, they didn't line them up very well. There's a big lip back here on the back and almost none on the front, so that's not great. Then the ankles can go pretty far back, that's pretty good, and they can't really go forward at all, so that's limiting. And then they have a really awkward ankle rocker. So Luke Cage figure is a definite pass. If you're trying to piecemeal this set, he's one that you really don't need, especially if you have the, how many have we had now? 2 or just 1? If we only had the Comic-Con one, then you may want to pick this up since that one might be a little harder to come by. But I think we might have had another replacement for him. Either way, on its own, it's just a goofy looking figure. Look at that. Look at the way they stand. This body is just such a goofy body. Those shoulders are okay, that's enough. We've heard that before. Let's look at Daredevil. A whole lot of new stuff going on here. It's actually a really solid Daredevil figure, except the reds don't line up. The torso and upper hip area, thigh area, totally different than the arms and lower legs, and even the crotch is questionable. The head matches the arms, not the torso. It's a little iffy. It's not super noticeable, but these are like flat plastic. They have a flat finish, whereas the torso and the upper parts right there have more of a satin finish. Looks a little questionable. They did a good job with the DD logo up there, but it seems a little high. Like that's up on his collarbone. I don't think that's right. He does have his little pouch here with his 2 nightsticks. They're painted well enough, so that's okay, and those can snap together. Everything else is just paint, which is actually just this right here, because there's nothing else that's paint except for the buckle, I guess. Again, it's a super mediocre pack. This face is not bad, though. I like that they put the dark around the eyes. They painted his little head nipples. That's okay. You know, it's alright. It's not bad. And then the rest is Bucky Cap, so we've seen it before, but I'll run it real quick. Head leans forward and back, no problem. Side to side's okay. Not too much play in terms of leaning. Shoulders work no problem. Full rotation. Little extra ratchet in there, it seems. Everything works just fine. Wrists swivel and hinge. The hinge is a lateral hinge, or horizontal hinge, which means it's not going to be great for posing with the sticks, but it'll do. Doesn't want to lean back at all. It's pretty floppy. Yeah, the ab crunch on this particular mold has just really gone to hell lately, and they don't seem to mind. So it's not particular. I mean, it's functional, and it's not exceptionally floppy, but it's not what it used to be, and it doesn't want to lean back at all. Waist swivel's fine. Belt is floaty. Hips go all the way forward. Out to the side. No problem at all. Not so far back, but a little bit. Thigh swivel's okay. Double jointed knee is okay. Shin swivel's okay. Feet go pretty far forward, little tiny baby feet. pretty far back, and then you have your ankle rocker. Honestly, I would like this figure a lot if all of the red was this flat red that we see on the arms, the lower legs, and the head. Or if it was all this color, that would be okay too. But since it's not, it looks a little bit weird, and I don't think it's intentional. But it's just another passable Daredevil. If you don't already have one, this one will do, but it's nothing special. Moving on to Iron Fist, it's lousy. Honestly speaking, we've had multiple versions of Iron Fist now, and this is nothing special. It's naked chest Iron Fist. They did paint the dragon pretty well, but his face is still a little bit weird looking, and he's got a really long torso, little tiny pecs, and just really odd proportions because this was not originally Iron Fist. It was originally a Spider-Man build, and it looks goofy, and I don't particularly like it. He's got super lanky limbs, like so skinny. He's so skinny. He's a lot like the live-action Iron Fist in that he wouldn't really intimidate anyone. The best thing about this guy is the sculpt and paint job for the wraps on the wrists. That's pretty cool. There's no shading or anything anywhere else. The paint line work for the boots, not particularly good. The paint work for the head's okay. This is a separate piece. The fire, by the way, he does come with 2 bits of fire, painted terribly. Painted terribly. The orangish plastic is pretty nice, but then they did that red on there, and it was like, let's ruin it. And that's what they did. So as far as the head goes, you can lean it forward and back pretty well. That's okay. It does sit nicely on the neck, so that's good rotations there. The little bandana thingy is just glued on, so there's no opposing that. Butterfly joint works well. That's good. That's a bonus, I guess, for his little narrow chest. For the shoulders, decent enough range going up. Full rotation. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, okay. Really good range there. Swivel and a hinge for the fists. Ab crunch, uh-oh. That didn't sound good. Nope, I guess it's okay. Ab crunch goes back 1 notch, gives a big pizza oven right there, pizza oven opening. Leans forward pretty far. Still kind of weird how big the abdominal section is. It's very long, and if you're going to lean forward, it probably shouldn't happen so high up. That's pretty weird looking. Waist twist is obviously okay. This is a floating piece. Let's get that out of the way. The hips do go really far forward, so that's nice. A little bit back and out to the side. Not so much. Spider-Man mold, remember. Can't have hips functional on the Spider-Man mold. Thigh swivel's okay. Double jointed knee is okay. And then the ankle rocker or ankle hinge is really good if you want to finagle it. You get really good range and then a decent ankle rocker. So it's a pretty lousy figure. It's okay. I mean, if you don't care about the proportions and that he's super skinny and everything, it's okay. Or that the fire is really ugly, it's okay. But honestly, there's no reason to buy this if you have any other Iron Fist figure. It's just very mediocre. And then the only one that is probably worth picking up is Jessica Jones, because we don't already have a comic version of Jessica Jones. And it's a kind of striking figure. The solid white outfit with the bright, saturated blue and pink hair and purple paint job. It's just a cool looking character, cool looking figure. And they executed well enough. The paint job's pretty clean for that belt area, although you can see the blue through that purple spot right there. But they did a really nice job on the hair. It's got some really nice coloring in there, nice sculpt work. The face is really well done, so that's good. And then the gloves are painted just well enough. So for being such a mediocre overall, I mean, like objectively on paper, there's not a whole lot going on here, but it looks pretty cool. They did make her skin oddly pink, though. It's particularly pink, like up against Iron Fist. Her skin is pretty pink. I'm not sure if she's got, like, I don't think she's supposed to be pink. She's not pink on the cover of the box, but either way, that's a thing. I do, again, really like the head sculpt. That's about it, honestly. Objectively, the rest is pretty mediocre. It just looks kind of cool for my personal taste. I like white and blue, so I guess that's it. Ew, wait a minute. The arms are molded in blue, and they painted the skin tone on there, and you can see the blue peeking through. That is not good. It should have been the same mold as this right here. Paint the blue on there. That is just lazy and not good. So her lower arm, the skin tone's no good at all. That's a bummer. As far as articulation goes, you have your standard ball peg and hinge combo. So the head is technically sitting okay, but it's also sitting too high on that peg, so you do get big old gaps in there. So that's pretty disappointing. The shoulders are questionable. They're a little bit too big for this mold to receive, but they do function, so that's all right. Full rotation, single jointed elbow with your bicep swivel down there, which is average. Wrist swivel and hinge is okay. Diaphragm joint works pretty well. It's a well designed diaphragm joint, and her boobages are well sculpted. We don't always see that, so it's worth mentioning. Her hips go pretty far forward, not so far out to the side at all unless you bring them forward or back, but even then it's kind of questionable. It's not great, and they're kind of loose too, so that's not ideal. Thigh swivel is okay. Double jointed knee is okay. Ankle goes all the way back, all the way forward. Not so far forward. It looks like it should go farther, but it doesn't want to go. So not so far forward, and an ankle rocker. So yeah, even this one being the first time we've gotten this character as a figure, it's a pretty poorly executed figure. So it doesn't surprise me at all that they keep trying to sell these at $60 rather than the $80 MSRP. And honestly, it's not a set worth buying. If you can just pick out this one, maybe on eBay for a cheaper price, maybe get it just to fill a spot in your collection. You don't really need the other three probably. It's up to you. It's a super mediocre set. I guess for $60 for all four of them, it's okay. But that's still stretching it. They're not particularly well executed figures. So that's my 2 cents. If you guys still like it, then go buy it. It's your money. Do what you want with it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up almost every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.